You are listening to the Postcast presented by the Locked On Senators podcast and, of course, our friends at the SensCentral Pub. Check out the GCP where the vibes are free, 779 Bank Street, and make sure you get on the Send Shuttle. All December tickets are available, $18 round trip to and from the CTC. I'm Ross Levitan alongside Lalime's Martian after a 4-2 Sens loss, a thud as they return home from the longest road trip of the season. Marshy, this one was all but over mentally for me in the second period where Ottawa just got caved in.
Yeah, it was a tough one to watch, Ross. I found myself on my phone, I think, a little bit too much even during that middle frame, just watching the game. And not a lot going on, in that second frame. And it kind of lulled me to sleep. And I think it was kind of the same effect, I think, for the Sens there. They did end up waking up, though, I felt like, in the third period with a nice push towards the end, buddy. But, man, it was a tough one. The home crowd, I think, didn't really help their case either. They were pretty quiet out there, too. So it's nice to be home. It's nice that they're back, but needed a little bit more, I feel like, from the boys and from the crowd.
It's just interesting how it works. Like, you hear it almost as a cliche that the first game back after a long trip is a typical tough play to be in. But you'd think that would have been more in Montreal, like coming back from out west with your body clock and still being in the hotel. But there's just something about tonight where there's just like a lack of energy, it felt like, throughout the group. Certainly it doesn't help, and we'll get into more once we hear from Travis Green if there's any update on Shane Pinto, who left this game in the first period and did not return, only got 5 minutes of time on ice, 7 shifts. Shane Pinto leaving obviously a huge hole when you add in that half of your top four on the back end didn't play tonight in Thomas Chabot and Artem Zub. So yeah, they were shorthanded, but every team is. You have to be able to battle through that. The one positive, if we want to start with a little bit of a silver lining, is for the first time since October 27th, Martian, the Senators get 2 goals on the power play tonight.
Yeah, that would be the one thing that we can point to here, Ross. We've been kind of harping on it for the last few weeks here. That power play needs to get going. And they found success on it tonight. And it's honestly too bad. And I hate to be that guy. We don't talk about the refs on this show, but there were a couple missed calls, I think, that could have gone out of us way to get them on the power play a couple more times in this one. And unfortunately, it didn't go their way there either. And but yeah, either way, 2 for 3 on the power play. We'll take that all day. That's a good percentage. That'll help.
Yeah, it will. And it was also the top unit scoring both those goals. Sure.
Yep.
The second one was very opportunistic. Drake Batherson just standing there. I don't know how you get away with it.
It's not part of hockey.
More and more. It was almost the exact same goal that he scored on Tristan Jarry last year. It was almost identical. Just standing back door and the puck just hit him off of a shot. Hey, great shot by Brady Tkachuk. Put it on net. Deflects in. Dylan Cousins scored Ottawa's first goal, his 9th of the season, for Batherson, his 10th. But it would have been nice to see the power play score twice in a game where you get something at even strength, right? Like, it feels like we were asking for it because that's what would push you over the edge in these tight games. But then you take it away. It's just tough. Very frustrating. This is a frustrating loss if you're a Senators fan.
Yeah, I feel like we're at the point right now with the team and where they're at. Every loss feels frustrating to me now. It's like I feel like they have the chance to win every game. I think they can beat pretty much any other team in the league. And yeah, this was just another one where we know they've got more in the tank than what they had here. I don't know if the boys got back from that road trip, maybe got too good of a sleep. Maybe they celebrated that Montreal win. I encouraged it a little bit too hard, something like that. But they didn't look like they had their full juice when it comes to their legs at all.
No, and they also had a few posts early in this game. Brulé's asking, 3, 4? Like, there's 2 in the first period where you're like, come on, that goes a bit the other way. But the Rangers hit the post in the third period as well. It was back and forth. And when Ottawa did push, they did have 22 shot attempts in the third period. And that was just at 5-on-5. If you go overall, they had 27 shot attempts in that third period. So I think what you saw was Igor Shesterkin stand tall. We discussed it plenty this morning on Locked On Sens. Like, he is unreal. 927 save percentage coming into tonight, or that might even be the team save percentage. Because they've been phenomenal, and he was unreal. Like, did you kind of hold your breath there both ways? I guess just hockey fans would, when Tim Stützle lost his footing on that break, that was a bowling ball into the net.
Yeah, he was at full tilt speed. Yeah, I don't know how he ended up losing his edge there. That's just Timmy. He's very light on his edges. We all know this. He took that great shot, great save, and then yeah, he went flying in there. I think he did a pretty good job of kind of like turning his body so that he was like just gonna hit Shesterkin in the pads. But anytime two players are going up against the post like that, yeah, for sure you got to hold your breath. I mean, Tim Stützle, if he goes down for the Sens, that's massive, and Shesterkin's maybe the most important part of that Rangers team too. So that would have been a moment that gave both fans a little bit of a scare. But yeah, I mean, it ended up being a good save. Nobody was hurt, so no one's worse for wear. And yeah, Shesterkin's been amazing for the Rangers, and I think probably especially on the road. They're a great road team. Sens probably knew that coming in, so they should have been a little bit more prepared to handle these guys. They did a really good job. I felt like the Rangers at the start of the game, just getting their shots, getting their chances early, a little bit of possession time. The Sens had their moments too, of course, early on. We mentioned those two posts, but a good road effort, I felt like, from the Rangers, and the Sens just didn't really get the luck that they needed to, get off to a good start.
Yeah, known as just an elite road team. You can see why. Just simple, straight lines, and they were effective tonight. They were led offensively by JT Miller with 3 assists, goal and an assist for Artemi Panarin, and his goal went into the empty net. That was what was frustrating to me as well, was they play so well in the third period. They bring it to within 1. They're still getting possession and chances. But then when the early goalie pull takes place, they got nothing. They couldn't even get set up in the zone with the goalie pulled. So that was tough to see.
Yeah, and Noodles called it too. Like Travis Green, he loves an early-ish goalie pull, right? It's usually around that 2:30 mark. I feel like a lot of teams wait maybe just under 2 minutes. But yeah, once the Rangers had possession, I felt like in the Sens zone to end the game right before they scored the empty netter in the Sens zone for good 10, 20 seconds before they ended up potting it. So not perfect, not great execution there. I think a guy like Shane Pinto helps in that situation. I know they were good on the power play. He would have helped there too, though. And, at 5-on-5, Shane Pinto might be the Sens' most effective player as well, as a shutdown guy and as an offensive threat. So it sucked not having him for most of that game. It was a bit of an awkward play there, Ross? That Shane Pinto play, he kind of went into the boards a little funky. You could tell he wasn't comfortable immediately. It took a second. He didn't get off the ice right away, I don't think, but then sat on the bench for a few minutes and then realized, I better go get whatever's wrong with me checked out. And not returning to the game is not a great sign. Hopefully it's nothing serious.
Yeah, because you just finally get your full complement of forwards, and then another one goes down. Lots of injuries during this condensed schedule as we head toward the Olympic Games. But what did the Senators do in Shane Pinto's absence? We'll take a look inside the mind of Travis Green on the other side and what line combinations he put together, because his most reliable line was broken up without his consent. We'll hope Shane Pinto's all right as well. We'll also get to the chat and how the stats break down in this game. Let's do that now, as the Ottawa Senators 2 for 3 on the power play. We mentioned the shots on goal, and then we left it at that. But if you're on your way to work, you're listening to this in the car, here's how the key stats were in this game. For the first time in a long time, Senators lose the face-off battle by almost 5% in this game. They finish at 45. Senators with 29 hits to New York's 21. Senators blocked 17 shots to 13 for the Rangers, and Ottawa with 52% of the expected goals at 5-on-5. But if you look period by period, which is why the thumbnail tonight is a tale of 2 periods, the Senators in the second had a 30% shot share, and in the third, that was up to almost 70% at 5-on-5. So the Senators had a push back, so that's a positive you can take out. The power play is a positive you can take out, but beyond that, I think maybe just the fact that you're a day closer to getting the injured players back would be my only third one, because there wasn't a whole lot within the flow of the game outside, like at 5-on-5, that I'm like, oh man, I want to see more of that on Saturday.
Yeah, no, I mean, maybe a little bit more of whatever the German was doing out there. I thought he was looking pretty decent tonight. I know he only ended up with just the 1 point, for Timmy Stützle there. No points. I'm sorry, and -3. So maybe I'm way
Tough.
off on the eye
He's
test.
noticeable though.
Noticeable. I thought he was noticeable out there. He seemed to be creating and skating well. But yeah, I mean, when you're in the building, it makes a big difference for what you see from Tim Stützle. But I noticed from TV tonight too that he was looking kind of nice out there. I felt like, anyways, he was out there a ton. 23, 18 on ice for Timmy, and that would maybe be the only other thing I could look to that I could say, like, yeah, he looked good. But I mean, coming away at -3, Ross. looking at the stats now.
And 4 giveaways, team high.
Oh my God.
Good effort.
Yeah. Good call out there, Martian.
Good effort.
Yeah, no. Anyways, yeah, there wasn't a
we've
lot
all-
of positives.
we've all
I was
been
really
there.
reaching. I really reached, and I reached right to the bottom. It seems like there. But
No, Gillette's mentioned, like, it was almost like he was trying too hard. Like he wanted to make something happen so bad, and didn't always end up in that right area. But he did have his chances in this game, and even a shot late just before the goalie was pulled, but couldn't beat Shesterkin coming in with speed. This is a tough loss for the Ottawa Senators, because now every other team around you has passed. Like the Rangers were tied with you, they pass you. There's the Red Wings that are scoring late, likely going to win tonight. There's 3 minutes left. They're up a goal right now. You have the Bruins winning tonight. You have the Islanders winning tonight. The Maple Leafs winning tonight. The Penguins winning tonight. And the Preds beat the Panthers, but they still got a point in overtime. So the Senators, this was kind of, look, there's no games where you're happy about losing. There's just not. But in this 3-game homestand, now the pressure is on that these next 2 games, I'm not calling them must wins, but they're pretty close, because you can't have these 4 out of 5, 5 out of 7 losses in regulation where you're not getting points. It's too bad. We'll see. We'll see what's next for the Ottawa Senators. What's next on our show is discussing Shane Pinto. We'll see if Travis Green has given an update on that, and we'll look at what the lines could end up being when he's out, if he's out. Let me say if he's out. That was bad vibe by me right there. I'd like to apologize for that.
Yeah, he'll be back. He'll be back. No problem. He'll be back.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay. He is a tough cookie. But if he can't be back on Saturday, we'll see if we got some hints of what Travis Green did tonight. That's next. You're listening to Locked On Senators, your team every day. Postcast, always brought to you by the Glebe Central Pub. Check out the GCP, where the vibes are free, 779 Bank Street. Let them know that Locked On Senators sent you. You can head there for great food, get the nachos for the table, or how about their nightly special? Mondays, wing nights. Thursdays are all about cheap tacos. And oh yeah, Saturday night, that's live music, baby. No cover ever. They've got great tunes, great drinks, atmosphere to match. You want to go check them out at the Glebe Central Pub, and make sure to get those shuttle tickets. I'm telling you, what a time we have when we go on the Glebe Central Pub shuttle. You head to the pub early, leaves an hour and 15 minutes before the game, and then brings you right back afterwards. All that for just $18 round trip. Unbelievable. So go check them out, GlebeCentralPub.com, and at 779 Bank Street. Let them know that Locked On Senators sent you. Tonight's postcast is also brought to you by FanDuel. It is America's #1 sports book. The NBA, NHL, they're back. There's no better place to get in on the action than with FanDuel. Even if you missed the start of the game or you want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to comebacks late. Was hoping for one tonight. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making a late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets. That's when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right. Ross Levitan here with Lalime's Martian. You can find our socials in the description below. Senators fall 4-2 to the New York Rangers. It looks like Travis Green was I don't think he was set on what centers he wanted. The one thing we know for sure is he doesn't trust Stephen Halliday yet. And I kind of hope that he does in the near future. I thought Halliday was showing the pace, the hockey IQ that can at least earn you 8 or 9 minutes worth of trust from your head coach, wouldn't you say? He ends with 6.5 minutes on 12 shifts.
Yeah, I expect a little bit more ice time from him, and it seems like he should have got it tonight of all nights with Pinto being out and them needing to start shuffling the forward group around a little bit to try to fill that void. I like what he brings. He's good along the boards. He's got great vision. We know he's a disher. We talk about that all the time. And he's a big body, Ross. Like, he's shockingly big out there. He stands in there at 6'4". He looks big on the ice, and he doesn't look out of place at all to me when he's out there. He didn't end up, with any points. He didn't end up with much going on beyond, a couple shots, a block, no giveaways. Stephen Halliday, he does a lot out there, and I think he should be trusted a little bit more. I'm wondering what the mentality is there with Green. I don't know why he's not, offering him a little bit more ice time. He seems like he's capable of logging better minutes than that, but I mean, it's more of a slowly bringing him in process, I guess, for Travis Green and just trying to get him a little bit more used to the NHL speed and things like that, I guess. But I think, Halliday, he would be, when it comes to guys in the AHL who can be brought up, he's definitely the top choice. He dominates the AHL. So he seems ready to me, but obviously Travis Green feels a little bit differently. He might change his mind any minute, right? Like we saw. There's been times with Travis Green where he doesn't trust a guy right away. Like look at Jordan Spence, and then all of a sudden tonight, Jordan Spence is on the top unit with Jake Sanderson. So it might just take a little bit of time to earn Travis Green's trust, and that's fine. But that's just up for Halliday to kind of earn that trust.
Yeah, and we were kind of talking through what happens if Shane Pinto is out for any period of time, extended or short term, and I think that the play is we're just going to see even more of Tim Stützle and Dylan Cousins because they ended up both playing a ton in this game. Cousins at 23-18 and Stützle at 28-3-18. They played the exact same amount, and that was tied for the team lead. So what happened where they were just rolling Giroux and Amadio as a pair of wingers with whoever was not on the ice last between Cousins and Stützle? I'd imagine that the score had a bit to do with that as well. You're down 2 goals for the majority of the second half. You're going to try to get those offensive players out there.
Yeah, you would think so, right? Those are kind of the two guys who can drive a little bit of offense themselves. Cousins obviously getting a goal tonight. He's capable of shooting and scoring a lot of the time. And Timmy just does what he does out there. He creates offense like nuts. So it makes sense why they got so much ice time tonight. But that's not really sustainable to me either, Ross. Like with this condensed schedule and so many games like coming up, it's like every other day they're playing, and they got to get a little bit. You can't really rely on those two guys to carry the load constantly because that can lead to fatigue and possibly injury and things like that can happen. So you got to be careful when you're really pumping those guys out there that much. You do need your third and fourth line centers to be out there for more than they have been here. So we'll see what he ends up doing, how he manages that. Hopefully Pinto just comes back and everything's fine there. But you got to be careful, Ross. I wouldn't want to do that too often. Like that's 23-18 for both those guys is a lot of ice time. The only guy who had more was Jake Sanderson. He played 27-30, Ross.
Jeez.
I mean, he really rode his horses tonight. So I like putting your eggs in the basket of the guys who you should be trusting to get the job done. But yeah, unfortunately, it just didn't work out tonight. That's just the way it's going to go.
But it ends up being still a close game. Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
They usually this season have been able to get at least a point, which makes you feel half better. But to leave with nothing after the work they did to dig out almost of that hole that they put themselves in, just makes you feel wanting more. But as it's being pointed out in the chat, it's Pamo that's saying like the fact they're close and they have all these injuries, like long term, this team does feel like they're heading in the right direction. But certainly a kick in the teeth tonight, stumbling and bumbling down the standings a little bit after that one.
Yeah, I don't worry too much about this. I'm one of those people.
I know.
I barely look at the standings at this time of the year, or even like especially before this time of the year once you start getting in the new year and that February range, that's when it starts really mattering to me a little bit more. But like all the jostling is gonna just sort itself out over time here in the standings. So for those of you who get stressed out looking at where they are in the standings after one loss, like just settle down here. Like let's
Okay,
just
I'll try.
yeah, that might be you. Yeah, let's just like I mean, we got to calm down with that, right? This is a steady group. They're gonna find their wins. I think they came off the high of the Montreal victory there, and they dropped one here tonight. But I mean, they rip off 2 in a row here, the next 2 of this homestand, and then look at where we are after that. If you want, like, let's just calm down with the standings watching. It doesn't mean that much at this point in the season. Like you could go on a 5-game win streak and you can find yourself at the top of the division pretty quickly. Look at the Leafs. Like they were at the very bottom of the standings and quickly climbing with a couple wins. And then, that's the way it's going to go here. The East is tight. You can't drop too many in a row, but one at a time is not going to kill you.
Well, 3 out of 4, buddy. Like, let's go. Let's win some games.
But this is the end of the road trip kind of roughly, and then they dropped one at home. Again, I'm not panicking about this. You can't even have this conversation with me because it's not going to fly.
Yeah, 2-4 in their last 6, 2 wins in their last 6 games, 4 regulation losses. That's the number that can't keep climbing in the last 10 games. So
and the injuries are going to
big.
They got to find ways to win when guys are out too. Like you can't use that as an excuse or a crutch. They know that too. I trust the group. I trust the guys in the room. I think that they are well aware of what's going on, and they're just going to be able to grind it out and find their wins when they can, and do enough to keep themselves in a position where they're at least going to be fighting for a playoff position at the end of the year, if not finding themselves in and having a good foothold on a spot towards the end of the year. I truly believe that. And I was a bit of a pessimist probably at this time last year because of all the history of them, kind of having rough starts and not making it. But, this year I feel way more confident about who they have in the room, the roster itself, what management could possibly do to improve the roster to give them that extra jolt that they might need. Maybe they look at doing something like that sooner than later, and then giving those boys a little bit of a jolt, and that could be a good play by GM Steve Staios to get the group going. But if he feels like they're not, I mean, I don't think any of those losses beyond the St. Louis one, and obviously Dallas is a good team, bit of a rough game there too, but it's not like the team looks bad, like bad.
No, I agree.
Right? So, I mean, like I said, they're a good team. They're going to be fine.
Yeah, I agree they're a good team. It's just frustrating because you're seeing everyone else get points and everyone else also going through injuries. So it kind of gets stale thinking that, we're going through injuries too. And I also think there's a part of this is disappointment for all the Sens fans that have waited over 2 weeks for a home game. And it's 1-0 3 minutes into the game. And it's a former Senator who's over a point per game in his career against you and Mika Zibanejad that scores that opening goal. And it just kind of put a bad taste in, I think, everybody's mouth. And then they add to their lead and double it up. It's 2-0 for quite a while. Obviously, it's an enormous power play goal at the end of the first period because you don't want to be going in to the locker room down 2 after the first at home. But still, I think getting off to that bad start and then having the awful dip in the second period, there's a lot of learnable moments in this game for the Senators, and we will see which ones they take advantage of. We've got SensCentral standouts. We'll get to the chat as well after a quick word from one of our favorite sponsors. And that's Drip Drop. The postcast tonight is brought to you by Drip Drop. When I'm hydrated, everything just works better. My focus, energy, mood, even my skin. And that's why I've been using Drip Drop. It's doctor-developed hydration that keeps me running at full power no matter what my day looks like. Drip Drop isn't just your average sports drink. It delivers 3 times the electrolytes and half the sugar of leading brands, using a science-backed formula trusted by medical professionals, firefighters, and over 90% of college and pro teams. I love Drip Drop. It's part of my daily routine. Mix a packet in the morning before the gym or during that midday slump. Hydration's become non-negotiable. Drip Drop helps make me feel sharper, calmer, and honestly, just better overall. Right now, Drip Drop is offering our podcast listeners 20% off your first order. Go to dripdrop.com. Use promo code LOCKEDONNHL. That's dripdrop.com. Promo code LOCKEDONNHL for 20% off. Stock up now before the heat hits hard and keep your body and mind performing at their best with Drip Drop. Marshy, After the Sens lose to the New York Rangers, and this happens when Boston's in town, maybe Chicago, probably not to the same extent, but the original six, they've got the aura, they've got the history. But like, are you not surprised at how many Rangers jerseys were in the crowd tonight in Ottawa? Like, are those people who live in Ottawa and the Rangers were their team before Ottawa had one? Or do the original six teams just have so much lineage that there's fans more spread out across the country, and then they'll find their team when they play within the 2-3 hours drivable distance?
Yeah, I think it's a mix of kind of all of that, right? Like upstate New York's not that far away. If people are Rangers fans and they're up there, they probably scoot themselves up to Ottawa to catch the game. Yeah, the history is definitely a thing. It's always been a thing though with New York. Like I remember going to even Rangers games when I was a kid, and there was always tons of Rangers fans. They've always got a lot of stars. They're a big draw. I think that, Rangers fans will jump on the opportunity to see their team live. They're great fans. So I think it's just a mix of all of those things. But yeah, it's funny, right? Like, yeah, they've been around for so long. Who knows? Like maybe there's just a long line of Rangers fans all around the country and in Canada and in the US. And they just find themselves in a city that has an NHL team like Ottawa, and they just catch the game when the Rangers are in town. So, and they're always in the lower bowl too. That's the other thing. They buy up those nice tickets down low. So, and especially
because they can go to 10 games in Ottawa for the price of parking beside MSG.
Yeah, that's true too. But they always, like, if you go to a Rangers game early and you watch warm up, like you'll see there's a good couple hundred of them down in that lower bowl watching the warm up and cheering on their team. So the support's definitely there. It's wild.
I was just curious about that because like it makes sense obviously geographically when Toronto or Montreal comes in, but like Boston and the
Boston
Rangers particularly.
Yeah, the Boston Bruins fans, they're everywhere. They're kind of the same story as the Rangers. I think Chicago is a little less so. Although the cups that they've won in the early 2010s and that I think that helped for sure. There's a good amount of them. The last few seasons I haven't seen a ton of Chicago fans when I go see them live. But this year I think it'll be different because now that they're kind of up and coming, Bedard is really clicking right now. He's gonna draw a lot of Chicago fans. So Sens fans better be ready to kind of combat that a little bit and show up, and they will, because the same kind of thing. They want to see Bedard just as much as maybe those Chicago fans do too. So it should lead to a couple good games there coming up.
It will indeed. Hopefully we have a good game coming up on Saturday against the St. Louis Blues, because after blowing that third period lead in St. Louis, that's one where it's gotta win that. Now, Anthony asked in the chat, is it a must-win game? No, but it's close.
Yeah, I mean it's a definitely want to win game, but what game isn't? You gotta get the points when you can get them. It's hard. Like what would you rather? Like all these games seem so like within reach for the Sens, and that's because of how good they are. But would you rather them getting smoked and then knowing that like they just didn't have a chance tonight? No, you're gonna lose the odd game. You can't win them all. Like no team has ever, unless you're Colorado right now, they're on an absolute run. But like no team's ever gone 82-0. So you can't win them all, boys. Like you're gonna drop a few here and there. It's a grind. Everybody talks about it. It's an absolute grind, and you're gonna lose games that you feel like you should have won.
SensCentral standouts from tonight's game. Martian, who's yours?
Well, thanks, buddy. I'm going to take the easy one here. I'm going to go with Drake Batherson. 1 goal, 1 assist. He still somehow ended up at -2 tonight, I guess because his goals were on the power play, or his points were on the power play. Those don't count towards that plus-minus stat. But Drake Batherson had a solid night. 23 minutes on ice for him as well tonight, 23:05, Ross. So he was right up there as far as the forwards go in ice time. It looks like third on the team there. He's been great down low. He's been great in front of the net, using his creativity. He's working really well with Timmy. I've been loving the way his game's been looking here. Early in the year, I think it took him a while to kind of get going, especially right after that injury. But now he's really on a nice pace. He's producing at all times. So I feel like Drake Batherson played a classic Drake Batherson game. I like how he's scoring in the goal mouth lately. He's going to those areas you need to go to score those goals. His last two have been very similar, where it's kind of coming off a rebound. He's just scooping that puck up and ended up, depositing that thing in the back of the net. So gotta love that for Drakey Batherson. I mean, I could do without the Levitan ads. That makes me go a little bit more against how I feel about him lately. Those ads are tough to watch. It's cringy as all hell. But when I was watching Drake Batherson on the ice, not using a tile cleaner, I really liked what I was seeing.
I'm going to go with no doubt the best Senator on the ice tonight. With all due respect to Drake Batherson, who did have a solid performance and was the reason this became a 1-goal game in the third period. But it's Jake Sanderson, like 2 assists on 2 goals. He was also all over the ice. I want to say game high. Definitely nobody on the Rangers had more than that. No, he played 2.5 minutes more than the Rangers' time on ice leader, Vladislav Gavrikov, who also had a phenomenal game. +3, scored a goal as well. But Jake Sanderson's point streak extends. His ability to wow any crowd he's in front of extends. 3 block shots in this one, 2 shots on goal, 2 assists. He's an animal. 12 points now his last 11 games too. So he's been lighting the lamp, and now he's playmaking as well.
Yeah, that's crazy. He's such an all situations guy, right?
Yeah, I'm not worried. I'm seeing the chat say -2 for
who wasn't -2? Like half the team was -2. It seems like here.
Well, one of them for Timmy, Brady, and Sandy, who all were more than double dashed. I mean, the empty netters, the culprit there too.
Yeah, and they're on the ice so much, right? Yeah. So Jake Sanderson did his thing as he always does. Classic Jake Sanderson. Man, like he gets the puck sometimes, and when he's flying through the neutral zone, I believe it was a play in the second period where he kind of he pulled this little move where he was kind of faking like he was going to dump it off to the side. I believe it was on the power play, actually. It might have been one of the ones they scored on, where he just entered the zone all on his own, like right from his own goal line all the way up the ice. Just takes open ice like crazy. He's such a smart player, such a good skater. He's unbelievable, Ross. So lucky to have him, and he just had a very classic Jake Sanderson performance again tonight. So easy standout pick for you too with the 2 assists. The only other guy other than Drake Batherson with 2 points. They made our job easy for the standouts tonight, at least with that.
They did. And final thought, give me something on Lalime tonight. What were your thoughts on how the young rookie goaltender fared as he made 23 saves on 26 shots, the 4th goal being into an empty net?
Yeah, I thought he was good. I mean, he gives me confidence, so I hope he gives the team confidence. I like his athleticism in there all the time. Like he's a very different goalie than Linus Ullmark, right? Where Ullmark relies on his size and his positioning a lot more, I find, than the Merrilainen. I find he tracks pucks pretty well, even though the second goal tonight was kind of a sifter that found its way through him. He had no chance to see that puck. And then obviously the first one being on that 2-on-1 chance, whereas Benajad's going to bury that like 9 times out of 10. That would have been a really tough save to make. So I didn't really hate any of the goals against him tonight. And I thought he made a few really nice saves as well. So, and yeah, I just think he's kind of like, he's a bit of a character in the net too, Ross. I don't know if you noticed, he talks to the opposing team a lot. Like he's in there, he's chatting, like he's engaged in the game. And I think, goalies are characters most of the time, but I think that's a good sign. I like when you have a goalie who is feeling himself enough that he feels comfortable talking to the other team.
Yeah, and just talking, not being Robin Leonard.
No, he's not. Yeah, he's not trying to fight anybody or trying to chirp anybody.
He's doing his job. He's just the Culligan machine, eh?
Yeah, he's at the water cooler, buddy. He's just hanging out. Yeah, he's just like, "What's up, boys?" Like, yeah, I made that save. It's all good. Like,
yeah, I'll do it again.
Yeah, he'll say he's probably a compliments guy if I had to guess. I think he's probably saying like, "Hey, good shot." Like, yeah, good try.
Yeah, nice try.
Yeah,
do it again.
Nothing cheeky, I don't think either. I think he's legitimately means it. Seems like a nice kid.
Yeah, seems like a very nice kid, and people might recognize your work on his social media profile pictures. He's still using your art, so I like that too.
Yeah, I've actually done it for him a couple times. So he asked for a refresh at one point, and he changed his mask too. So I was actually kind of waiting. I wouldn't be surprised if Levy slides into the DMs and says, "Hey, could you update my mask for me so it matches the one I'm currently using?" Because the one he's using right now is
sick.
It looks like his old mask though. So.
Oh no, but the mask he's using now.
Oh yeah, the Goldie. It's shiny. I like that. Yeah.
It is. I feel like it's like a Sens goalie rite of passage ever since Patrick Lalime. Obviously, the Marvin the Martian with the hella gold cage, sparkling gold cage.
Yeah.
Just love that. I didn't love the result tonight, but always great to chop it up after the game. We'll get Pillsy's takes on things tomorrow on the show. But the most important update is now. Travis Green says it's too soon for an update with Shane Pinto, but, quote, I'm hoping it's not going to be too long. So,
yeah,
that's probably as good as it was going to get.
Seemed like maybe just like a little bit of a hip maybe kind of situation or something like that. They said lower body, but I don't know. Like maybe just like who is it just in the NHL recently who had like a bit of a bone bruise kind of situation on his thigh or hip, or I can't remember who it was, but it seems like maybe that kind of thing, like a bad Charlie horse kind of situation maybe.
Yeah, I really just hope it's short term. I don't even want to speculate on what it could be, but
oh God,
they need him in the lineup, man. He's been phenomenal this season, offensively, defensively, in the dot. And you know what else sucks tonight? Not that we're not going to pretend like he is a very right on the bubble player, but he was invited to the orientation camp, and I'm sure he was excited to play in front of Team USA head coach Mike Sullivan, who's the Rangers coach, and he only got 5 minutes to do so before getting injured. But yeah, the Senators basically just ran Stützle, Cousins down the middle, and then whoever was ready to go on the wing would be up next. And we'll see what's up next tomorrow at practice. We'll head into the weekend with a preview. In the meantime, we'll say thank you so much for venting and vibing with us. We know that the numbers are unreal after wins. Everybody loves a good time, but hey, you got to build to that point. Tonight was a step back and a slide down in the standings, but the Sens, be like Martian. Have confidence. This is a good team, and they'll be able to figure it out. For tonight, we say goodbye. For Lalime's Martian, I'm Ross Levitan. This has been the Postcast presented by the Glebe Central Pub and the Locked On Senators podcast. So let's get some GSGs in the chat. Yeah, I do feel better after that vent cast. Shout out to Adam.
Always
it wasn't
do.
good.
Always
good. Just a little dirt off the shoulder, a little shake it out.
It's therapeutic, man. I swear. Like sometimes after a loss, I'm like, damn, I really don't feel like talking about this game. And there's probably a reason for that. And maybe it's just going to be a good thing for me. And after we do it, it always feels better. I can let it go. We've talked about it. We can move on now. We can go on the next one. Dude, I'm due for a postcast win. Holy, I'm on a cold streak here. I feel like that's four postcast losses in a row for the Martian. I need a win bad.
Well, we'll try to get you one as soon as humanly possible. Last shout out I want to give is Brady Tkachuk, because with his assist tonight, he's able to continue a stretch here where this guy's come back in the lineup. We know it wasn't easy for anybody in the Dallas game, but it's nice to see that he's got at least a point in 3 of 4 games since coming back, and he's up to 7 points in 7 games on the season. That's for number 7. He's also now alone in 4th place all time in Ottawa Senators history. Previously, he was tied with Wade Redden at 410 points. So, Brady, that spot's all yours. And now, former Senators captains are 1, 2, 3, and 4 in Senators all-time scoring. Daniel Alfredson, number 1. Erik Karlsson, number 3. I don't have it in front of me. I'm doing it off the top of my head, so you got to give me a sec. Jason Spezza at number 2. And wait, so who am I?
And Brady at 4.
So no, Brady's 5th. Brady's 5th.
Yeah,
I probably should just pull it up because Alexei Yashin's on that list.
Yeah, Yashin's up there somewhere.
He's 5th. Nice. Way to go. Hey, he's 4th. Hey, that's what it is. Hey, Brady's 4th all time in goals.
There you go.
There you go. Put a bow on that one and double knot it and try to undo it. Hey, we're part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.